You don't need $180,000 in a savings account to buy a second home or an investment property. If you already own a home in Canada, the down payment for your next property might already be sitting right under your roof. Assuming you have solid equity, decent income, good credit, you can often tap into that equity to buy a cottage for the family, help your kids get into the market, or buy an investment property. You don't have to sell your home. You don't have to drain your savings, and you don't have to liquidate your investment portfolio. Here's the interesting part though. If property number 2 costs $900,000, your down payment could be $65,000 or it could be $180,000. Same purchase price, 2 very different down payments. I'll explain why in a minute. But first, let's figure out how much money could actually be available inside the home you already owned. Your home isn't just where you sleep. It's essentially a giant savings account you've been funding every single month. If you bought your home 5, 10, 15 years ago, you've likely built up hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity, almost on autopilot. If that equity is an asset, you've built it by paying down your mortgage, and your home may have increased in value over time. When we sit down to look at your numbers, my first thought isn't, how much could you possibly borrow? It's, what are you actually trying to accomplish next? Let's use some real numbers. Say your home is worth $1.4 million today and you owe $475,000. That gives you $925,000 in equity. Now you can't pull all $925,000 out. In Canada, total borrowings secured against your home can generally go up to 80% of its value. So 80% of $1.4 million is $1.12 million. Subtract your existing $475,000 mortgage, and you're left with $645,000 in total borrowing room. This is usually where I tell you to pause. Just because you have $645,000 of borrowing room doesn't mean it makes sense to use all of it. What we're trying to figure out is how much you actually need and whether using that equity makes sense for what you're trying to do. If you want to see what these numbers look like for your own home, grab the homeowner wealth assessment below. It's the easiest way to get your baseline. Now let's say you want to buy a $900,000 investment property. At 20% down, you need $180,000. Now you may have $180,000 sitting in cash or investments right now, but before you touch that, ask yourself this: does the down payment actually need to come from cash? Since you have $645,000 in available borrowing room, we could pull $180,000 of equity out of your current home and use it for the down payment on the new place. You're using one asset you already own to acquire another. Now keep in mind the $180,000 is not free money. The equity is your asset, but the moment we borrow against it, we create debt. You're paying interest, and you've now got another monthly payment to carry. We didn't make the $180,000 disappear. We changed where it came from. If you're actively shopping for a property right now, generic math only goes so far. Book a call for a custom mortgage plan and we'll run your actual numbers. So how do we actually pull the $180,000 out? Instead of chasing whichever bank has the cheapest home equity line of credit today, we start with how you plan to use the money. A HELOC works well if you want flexible access and you don't need all the money at once. You only pay interest on what you draw. The trade-off is that rates are variable and the revolving HELOC portion is capped at 65% of your home's value. A refinance can make sense if you need a larger lump sum and restructuring your current mortgage works in your favor. But I'll always check your current rate, maturity date, and penalty first. Pulling out $180,000 makes no sense if it makes your existing $475,000 mortgage significantly more expensive. A readvanceable mortgage combines a standard mortgage with a revolving line of credit. As you pay down your mortgage principal, your available credit can increase. For the right homeowner, it can be a useful long-term tool. We don't pick a product first. We figure out your goal, then decide which mortgage structure makes sense. Here's where people usually get caught off guard. You can own a $2 million home in Canada and still get turned down for the mortgage on a second home or investment property. Equity solves the down payment problem. It does not solve the qualification problem. When we submit an application, lenders look at the whole picture: your income, your current mortgage, the new debt you're taking on against your equity, property taxes, heat, personal debt, and the mortgage on the property you want to buy. It's completely possible to be asset rich and qualification poor. Equity gets you in the door. Income gets you the keys. That's why we want all this mapped out before you start making offers on properties you fall in love with. Going back to the $900,000 property, why would one down payment be $65,000 and another $180,000? It all comes down to how you intend to use the property. If that $900,000 property and your situation qualify under CMHC's second home mortgage rules, the minimum down payment can be $65,000. That's 5% on the first $500,000, which is $25,000, plus 10% on the remaining $400,000, which is $40,000. That's $65,000 total. If that $900,000 property is a non-owner occupied rental, we're looking at 20% down in this example. That's $180,000. Same property, same purchase price, very different financing. We don't decide what to call the property based on which option requires less cash. We look at how you're actually going to use the property, then structure the financing properly so that there are no surprises with the lender later. If you already have $200,000 sitting in cash or investments, you might wonder why you would borrow at today's rates. Fair question, and pulling equity isn't always the right answer. Think of it this way: your equity, your investments, and your cash are all tools in a box. If you have all three available, the question isn't which one can you use. What we're really trying to figure out is which option leaves you in the strongest financial position. If you liquidate $200,000 of investments, is there a tax consequence? Are you pulling money out of investments you would rather leave alone? How much cash do you want to keep available? And on the flip side, what does it actually cost you to borrow against the equity instead? Using equity isn't automatically better than using cash, and using cash isn't automatically better than borrowing. It's about choosing the right asset for this particular move. Before you make a move, here's what we look at. What is your current home worth today? What do you owe? What's your rate? When does the mortgage renew? And what's the penalty to break it? How much borrowing room do you have, and how much do you actually need? Is this a cottage, a personal second home, or a rental? Can your income support the mortgage you already have, the equity we're taking out, and the mortgage on the property you want to buy? And then I want to know what happens when things don't go perfectly. What if interest rates go up? What if the rental sits vacant for 2 months? What if you get hit with an unexpected $10,000 repair? The goal is never to max out what a bank will lend you. You want smart control leverage, not maximum leverage. If you've owned your home for a number of years, I want you to start thinking of your equity differently. It's not just a number showing how much of your home you own. Equity is an asset, and you can use that asset to build more wealth, create more options for your family, and strengthen your financial security. The question is whether the equity you've built could be working harder for you. If you're still in the research phase and want to see what your home equity looks like in real numbers, grab the homeowner wealth assessment below or use a QR code. If you already have a target property in mind and want to review your specific numbers, book a call for a custom mortgage plan. And if you're wondering whether a HELOC, refinance, or readvanceable mortgage makes the most sense for accessing your equity, click the video on the screen next. I'll break down how to choose between the three. I'll see you over there.